Hey, JK here. I want to thank you for sharing part of your day with me. We're here to talk about week 12, and it was a week for sure. There's a lot of comebacks, a lot of bold strategy, a lot of me second guessing myself, and ultimately coming up short because I made the wrong decision. But we'll get to it. I promise you'll get to know how much I messed up on and, get to say, hey, you're terrible at fantasy baseball. I know. But let me at least continue talking to you about it. Tonight, we're going to go ahead and start with the ESPN platform teams. First up, Peach Creek Purgatory. Now, most of the time, we talk about this team with the score, highest scores, and then move on because it's usually a win. However, we have some drama this week. We have ourselves a huge hole going into Thursday. They've started 3 or 4 more pitchers than us, and we figure this is a 150, 200 point hole that we have to go back from. We have some all-star pitchers. We have some of the best talent in the entire league. We got Mr. Acuna, who put up 85 points. We have a phenomenal catcher who's deciding to find his life, hit over 300, and get 67 points in Alejandro Kirk. Then we got my boy Brent Rooker bringing up the Athletics with 63 points. And then we got my new Yankee man, Max Fried, coming up with 62. So there's no way we're going to lose. We have a huge deficit, but we got phenomenal pitchers. We got some big-time hitters. There's no way we're going to lose, right? Well, we didn't quite make up that deficit on Wednesday or Thursday. We did have a big Thursday, though. But Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we just couldn't quite make it up. We got close, so close. The score ended up being 1,052 to 997. And you might be thinking, whoa, so close. What are you talking about? We just talked about all those guys that scored 50 and 60 some odd points. But what do you mean you were close? Well, let me tell you what my guys did that I started, and let me tell you what I missed. Stephen Kohler for the Padres got me 8 points. This is the same man that had a complete game, I think like 1 or 2 hitter, who got me like 58 points or something like that, like 3 weeks ago. So yeah, that's that guy. Next on the crap list is Yoshi Yamamoto. He got us 3 points. He's averaging like 25, 30 points a game. Cool. Next, Jose Quintana, my man, coming back from injury, getting us like 10 to 15 points a game. Not bad, smooth cooling right there. He got a 0. Just straight 0. As if the Phillies bullpen wasn't bad enough, they decided to move Taijuan Walker there, and he ended up getting me negative 3 points. Come on, dog. I got rid of Jordan Romano, and I was like, okay, dude, you could take over as long reliever, coming as a bulk guy, get me some holds or save. Nope, you got me negative 3. And then the guy who got me negative 7, Randy Rodriguez, of all people, Randy man. Oh, I'm so hurt. But not as hurt as you're going to be when you hear what I left on my bench. Just between Otto Lopez and Jason Dominguez, that was a combined 40 plus points. Otto Lopez had games of 13 and 11 points. I didn't start him. Jason Dominguez had games of 11 points and 12 points. I didn't start him. So that right there was 47 points. Now you're saying, okay, dude, you're still not going to win. However, I also missed games by Corey Seager, who finally decided to find his life. Got combined 21 points with a 10 point and 11 point performance. Then I missed a huge performance by Nolan Arenado, who got me 21 points. And also Eugenio Suarez, who got me 23 points. We also missed 21 points from Christian Walker, 16 points from Brenton Doyle, and 10 points from Yandy Diaz. Finally finding his life, getting his average above 220. That's great. And we sit him. As drops this week were pretty short. We added Emerson Hancock, who had a 30-plus point game for us, bringing us so close. On Sunday, we dropped Jordan Romano, no surprise there, and Carson Kelly, because he dropped off the face of the earth like crazy. Unfortunately, this loss brought us to 10-2. 2 losses on the season, not the worst thing in the world. However, we did have some saving grace because the only other team that had 1 loss also lost their game. So there are 2 teams that are 10-2. We're still number 1 in the league. So all is well there. Hopefully we'll be able to come back and do a little better these next upcoming weeks. I've said it once, I'll say it again. Let's get the losses out of the way now before we get to the championship rounds where we lose in heartbreaking fashion over something silly and more terrible decisions that I make. Next thing we're talking about is the South Harmon Institute of Technology. Unfortunately, this was another loss, 5 categories to 9 categories to 4 categories. And I also want to squarely put between 2 and 4 losses on Will Vest because of the loss and the blown save and the ERA and the whip that went up, all because Sunday's pinky fiasco. I lost another, again, 2 to 4 categories. Could have, should have won more, but I'm also not going to say that some of my other decisions did not hinder me winning. We're going to get to those in a minute. Unfortunately, we have gone from first interdivision to second interdivision. I think it's about half a game or something like that. But hey, it's still half a game, and we're no longer a lock, for a playoff position. First round bye, not a playoff position. I know we are so far away from the playoffs, but we are still in contention for playoffs. We're just not in contention for a first round bye. But again, we're half a game behind. We're going to make this up, and we're going to make sure we get back in that leading position, and we're not going to look back. Our top performers included Brent Rooker, who had 17 total bases, 2 home runs, and 4 RBIs, and Mr. Matt Olson, who had 1 home run and 6 RBIs. Coincidentally, both of them hit .364 this week. Finally, Matt Olson is finding his life. Pitching-wise, Spencer Strider was the man of old, getting 13 strikeouts and a win for the Braves and for my fantasy teams, along with Nick Pivetta, who had 12 strikeouts between his 2 starts and did have 1 win. Unfortunately, he also had a clunker to start the week. We had terrible starts from Mr. Nick Pivetta and also Bryce Elder, who was going against the same Rockies team that Grant Eastbound and Down Holmes struck out 15 batters for. And then the Braves decided to completely waste that performance. And that is hilarious because they lost like 10-1, 11-2, something like that. It was crazy. Jackson Flaherty, Bailey Ober, and Yuri Perez all also had terrible outings. All were shaky in their starts. And that's very unfortunate and just terrible because I saved a spot on my roster for the whole season for Yuri Perez to come in and get me 9 strikeouts and two outings in the same week. Come on, man! So that's subpar outings from Tommy Canley, who will likely be taking over if Will Vest decides to go on the IL. So definitely don't need to have 2 guys in the same bullpen doing poorly. Speaking of doing poorly, I am doing poorly on the stolen bases. That's because Sal Freelick is the only person getting me stolen bases this past week. That means there were 0 between CJ Abrams, Bryce Turang, and Francisco Lindor. Come on, fellas. Get your life. The last person I want to talk about who did not do well for me was Eugenio Suarez. He went 0 for 12 for me. He didn't go 0 for 12 for you? Well, wait a minute. Let me look at my numbers. No. Yeah, 0 for 12 when I started him. He went 6 for 10 with 3 home runs and 9 RBIs. And who knows how many total bases when I didn't start him. Cool. Last guy we started that did poorly for us was Trevor Larnach, as we called these last 2 weeks and just decided to cut bait with him, along with Seth Lugo and Bryce Elder. Seth Lugo was really tough, however, didn't have confidence with him going against the Yankees, and of course he does very well, and I don't have him on my team. I'm just waiting for the guy that actually did pick him up to drop him again, because that's what he seems to do. On the other side, we added Bryce Elder, thinking that he was actually going to do something against the Rockies, and he didn't. And then Noah Cameron, glad we were able to pick him up. He had a pretty good weekend series for us, so thank you, Mr. Noah Cameron. Despite the loss, we dropped from first to second in the division to this very same team that we played. We still have a very strong record of 96, 79, and 41. Definitely think we're going to be able to get back on track. It's just going to be tough making sure we have the right starts, have the right guys in place, and not miss out on freaking gold like we did with Eugenio Suarez. Once Brent Rooker gets outfield eligibility, I'll be able to add to my lineup Mr. Eugenio Suarez every night. I'll be able to add more CJ Abrams. I'll be able to add more Mr. Nolan Arenado. So, Brent Rooker, please, for the love of God, play the outfield one more time to get outfield eligibility. Please. Last thing we're talking about for the ESPN platforms is Russell My Jim Jams. This week we were playing against a little punk who tried to hold Alec Bohm for ransom from us, trying to get all of our good picks, and then finally, after the waiting game, decided just to give us what we wanted in Alec Bohm and a few other pieces. Well, he took our first round, which was like our 28th round pick or something like that, and he wasted it. But in any case, we were able to get Alec Bohm after the waiting game. We were able to get Carson Williams. We were able to get, I think, another piece or two. But this week we got to play him, and he beat us before off of a fluke Sunday. But this week we got him back. 10 categories to 4 categories to 2 categories. I do think we should have won at least one more category with the strikeouts because we're only down 12. Could have added a few more pitchers. But we also did lose in holds, and that's frustrating because our entire team is just a holds team. It's a holds and saves team. I've got like 2 or 3 starting pitchers. Yeah, I lost at my own game, but we did win 10 categories, so that was pretty good. Moving on over to the guys that did well for us, have to start with Mr. Jose Altuve. 5 extra base hits, 1 home run, 6 RBIs, and a stolen base just for fun. We also had Mr. Hunter Goodman with 4 extra base hits, 1 home run, and 3 RBIs. Then we had 2 home runs each, including Mr. Alec Bohm, my boy. And also Wilson Contreras, pretty happy with his production after he started off miserably for this year. Then we also had at least 1 home run each from Mr. Yanier Diaz, Lawrence Butler, Nick Castellanos, Brandon Nimmo, and of course, gotta get my boy, Lourdes Gurriel. Woo! West Nick Pavetta's had 2 starts. One of them was not so good. The other one was very good against the Diamondbacks. He got us 12 strikeouts between those 2 and 1 win. And then Brandon Walters had a heck of a game on Sunday against those pesky Twins, getting 9 strikeouts. Pretty happy with that, man. Oh, on the other side, we already talked about how Nick Pivetta had a stinky start. There were also some other guys who had stinky starts or stinky outings. Jose Quintana must not be fully recovered. He needs to go back on the IL because I don't know how long he's going to be on our team. And then Mr. Kenley Jansen came in a non-save situation, so that's pretty frustrating. He gave up 2 runs. That sucks. And then Tommy Canley, but he's going to have to take over Will Vest with the binky. We also had a very cold week from a few guys. They need to pick it up. I'm still feeling good about them, but might have to put them on the bench a little sooner. Josh Lowe and Nate Lowe, along with my boy Taylor Ward and Lawrence Butler. Yep, Lawrence Butler was hitting 154, but he did have us a home run and a stolen base, so that's cool, but definitely need a higher batting average. I mean, I love the home run, I love the stolen base, but come on, man. It's hitting the 200s and not the 150s. As we move to the adds and drops, we did move a few guys straight to the IL, try to save them as they come back or potentially for trade bait. We did do that with Mr. Joe Musgrove and also Nestor Cortez. We also had Shelby Miller because Justin Martinez went down. Also, Brandon Walter picked him up, and he did great for us. Really good matchup with the Angels coming up this weekend, so we might end up keeping him. Also picked up Brandon Nimmo, who's finally deciding to find his life, getting his batting average up to like 235, 240, and hitting home runs, stealing bases. I don't know what got into him, but let's keep it up. And the last guy we added was Cal Quantrill. Who's that? A guy who was going against the Pirates, and he did okay. Nothing sexy, but yeah. He used to play for the Indians. While we're on the subject of Cal Quantrill, that's a perfect segue to get to the drops, which include Cal Quantrill, Jose Quintana, and Fernando Cruz. Despite winning 10 categories this week, we are still in 5th, which is not bad at all, because at one point in time, I'm pretty sure we were not. So we are still in 5th place, and we are absolutely in playoff contention. It's going to be important for us to make good adds and drops and decisions on who to start, because we have to make up half a game to get into 4th place. Currently in 5th. We want to be in 4th. We actually want to be in 1st. We know that. But right now we're sitting at 85, 74, and 33. So just half a game out of even better seeding for the playoffs. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. There's still a lot of time for the playoffs. Still a lot of time for us to screw up. But we have to make sure we continue to do well, like we said before. Now we're going to shift away from ESPN and go to Fantrax. Talk about the funky, junky Joker Monkeys. This week was kind of nerve-wracking as well. We had ourselves in a deficit, didn't have the best pitching, had some poor performances when it came to pitching, and also some of the fielders just weren't doing it, but they absolutely picked it up heading into the weekend. So that happily brought us another win, 504 to 405, bringing our record to 9-3. Pretty happy with that. It's going to be important for us to continue this trend because we are tied, 3-way tie, with other 9-3 teams. Top guys 11-1. Should have beat him. We were so incredibly freaking close, but whatever. Close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. Our top scorer was Mr. Ronald Acuna with 51 points, followed by Nick Pivetta with 37, and Jose Altuve with 31. We had 8 guys score 20 points for us, so that was pretty awesome. On the other side, Salvador Perez only had a 7 points. Brian Wu got a 6. Jackson Flaherty got us 4. Come on, man. Like, you have such good games, and then you are like, nah, I'm just going to grab the bed. Wrap up bad performances. Bailey Ober got us -1, and Randy Rod got us -2. Moving over to the adds and drops, we did add Mr. Sandy Alcantara, who had a really good start on Monday. I think got us 25 points. Happy with that. Did not start him later in the week. Did not do as great, but was pretty happy with the production he had against the Pirates. We also added Shelby Miller because Justin Martinez went down, and Ernie Clement because he's doing good along with Addison Barger, and we needed someone else doing well. In order to make room for those guys, we had to drop Carter Crawford, who's nowhere close to pitch for the Red Sox again, but might have a spot in the rotation given to Kyle Harrison. You know, the guy you got for Rafael Devers. Take that, Red Sox fans. That sucks for y'all. We also dropped Kaiser Montero and Sandy Alcantara. Now I remember to the Cheese Weasels, where this week we are in 5th place with 89 points. We were up to 4th place and had 94 points, but again, losses, blown saves, that kind of stinks. But I did look today. We are number 1 in ERA with a 2.96. Woohoo! That is awesome. And we're 2nd in strikeouts. I'm not worried about the strikeouts. We are 7 behind in wins. I think the top wins is 39. We have 32. So I'm not too terribly worried about that. We are 2nd in saves, and we're 1st in holds by 5, so I'm pretty happy with that. There were a few guys that stepped up to the plate and absolutely helped us offensively, both literally and figuratively, with at least 1 home run. Did include Hunter Goodman, Marcell Ozuna, Nolan Arenado, and Spencer Torkelson. We also had 2 stolen bases from Trey Turner and jams, absolute jams from some pitchers, including Jacob Misiorowski, who had a no-no in his first start, went 5 innings. I think he had a hamstring, tighten up on him or a calf or something like that. But he had a no-no in his first major league start through 5 innings. Cade Horton had a sub-1 ERA and whip, did not come away with a win. Mr. Paul Skeens had a sub-1 ERA and 5 strikeouts, did not come away with a win. Matt Boyd, on the other hand, did come away with a win, only had 3 strikeouts. And Spencer Strider, man of the thigh, 13 strikeouts and a win, sub-1 ERA. Boom! That's what I'm talking about, man. On the other side, we had a few guys that had some shaky outings. First time coming off Tommy John surgery. Yuri Perez. You had a cake matchup, dude, and you lost. Also had some bad outings from relief pitchers. Hunter Gaddis forgot how to pitch. When I didn't start him, he absolutely got a hold for me, but when I did start him, he got us a loss. That sucks. We also had losses and blown saves from Braxton Finnegan and Randy Rodriguez. That stinks. But we also missed some home runs and some runs, some RBIs, and some obviously hits from Mr. Christian Yelich and Teoscar Hernandez. Teoscar Hernandez, he wasn't on your team before, was he? Nope, he sure wasn't, but we got him in an ad along with Yuri Perez, Jacob Misiorowski, Cade Horton, Matt Boyd, and Brandon Walter. He had a really good game on Saturday or Sunday. He had 9 strikeouts, didn't quite get the win, but did very well. I'm absolutely wanting to start him this upcoming weekend. Talked about before with the Angels. He's probably going to be the guys I think you should add. On the other side, unfortunately, we did have to drop Bryson Stott, who's in an ice-cold slump. Yeah, he's going to get some hits here and there, but I couldn't have him on a team doing so poorly when I only have certain number of starts with second base or utility or shortstop. We also dropped Shea Langeliers. That's really frustrating because I love Langy. Really, really want to be able to pick him up once he comes off the IL, but we have too many IL spots taken up right now. So once I have a little more room, we're going to pick Langy up because I want to move Hunter Goodman to outfield and Langy back because he can bomb some homers for me. We also dropped Lars Nootbaar because just couldn't get on base, and if you can't walk or get a hit, you're not going to do well for me or my team, especially with limited starts. Tyler Meagle, Matt Boyd, Jacob Misiorowski, and Cade Horton. Definitely going to need to call our way back, but we need to continue to focus on pitching so that the hitting will come all on its own. Let's stay the course, people. Stay the course. The last team we were talking about is the Kent Murphy Dingers. This week we're playing the guy that gave away Framber Valdez for Jason Dominguez. Now, I was really hoping Jason Dominguez would start every single game, but he didn't. You know who else didn't start games for him? Bobby Witt. Like, dude, you have this guy. Mookie Betts didn't start for him. Like, you have these guys and you're not starting them. What are you doing? Anyway, it was a hard-fought battle. He was beating me the entire week. I was really nervous. Really, really close to like, oh, man. I hope I come out with a tie. But just when I thought I had it in the bag, Will Vest came on. Blew up my ERA, blew up my whip, and I was then losing whip. I'm like, oh no. So it was tied. And of course he had Grant Holmes. Grant eastbound and down Holmes decided to come and play. So then he had Dustin May. I was like, oh Lord. So I had to start my boy Nick Pivetta, and I was like, oh Nicky, buddy, I need you to do something against these Diamondbacks. I need you not to get blown up. And he did not. He had 9 strikeouts, came away with a win. I think he gave up like 2 earned runs. Woo-hoo. Lowered my whip, won me my strikeouts, and I won the week 6 categories to 4. Booyah! Bringing my record to 7-2-2. Whew, that was close. Much closer than it needed to be, and much closer than expected, to be honest with you. However, let's talk about the guys that did well for me. My boys. I am so excited to have Willson Contreras and Alec Bohm on my team. Willson Contreras, 1 home run, 7 RBIs. Alec Bohm, 1 home run and 9 RBIs, like we talked about before. My boys. Speaking of my boys, Larry Butler along with Jose Altuve. Jose Altuve, you're not my boy. You're a cheater. I really don't like you, but you're good in fantasy. You're good in real baseball too. So I'll have you on my teams, and I can't cut you, and I don't want to trade you. I just want you to do well for me, but not do well as a team for the Astros. I want y'all to be terrible. But both Jose Altuve and Larry Butler filled the stat sheet with stolen bases, runs, home runs, and RBIs. And my boy Matt Olson, all these are my boys. Matt Olson went and found his life. He was hitting .364 this week, 1 home run, 6 RBIs. We don't have walks or on-base percentage in this league, but man, he was doing well. Pitching-wise, Nick Pivetta had 2 starts. One was better than the other, much better. He had 9 strikeouts in one and 3 in the other, so he had 12 total strikeouts for us, but he did come out with a win. And then Hunter Brown, great start, 12 strikeouts and 0 wins. That kind of stinks. On the other side, another not-so-great performer, Jerry Perez. Again, cupcake opportunity for you. You were going against the Pirates, and you didn't do well. I think you got to make 5 strikeouts, so cool, but you also got loss going 4 innings. That's not great. Speaking of more stinky stuff, the outings from our relievers and injuries to them did not help our case. Mr. Tommy Canley, Mr. Will Vest, Mr. Josh Martinez, Mr. David Palencia. What are y'all doing? Y'all screwed up my ERA. Y'all screwed up my whip. We barely won whip. We won 1.34 to 1.4. Barely. But hey, a win's a win. I'm happy with it. But man, y'all made it so much closer than it needed to be. As we do the adds and drops, we did have to pick up some pitchers because we forgot to set them. No, we didn't forget. It just didn't save. We picked up Cade Horton to start against the Pirates, and he did well. But, of course, it didn't save. So we had to pick up Bryce Elder, who did not have a good game against the Rockies, so that stinks. Also, Sal Freaklick, because we needed some stolen bases. He didn't get us stolen bases, but he did get us some hits and some runs. Thank you so much. Apparently, we didn't start him when he stole the bases, so that kind of stinks. We also picked up David Bednar and Shelby Miller. Then we released David Bednar before he got rocked and gave up a lot of hits and runs, which absolutely would have hurt our whip and ERA, and we definitely would have lost. Along with Tyler Meagle, Bryce Elder, and Cade Horton twice. Happy with how we're doing in this league. We're 7-2-2. We have the same number of wins this year as we did all of last year. Let's not be complacent. Let's keep winning. Let's, more importantly, get to the people I think you should add. Definitely think you should add Brandon Walter for the Houston Asterix, or the a-holes. I mean, the Astros. The cheaters. That's who it is. He had a great game against the Twins. He's going to have a nice, I think, easy matchup this weekend with the Angels, the Angels. Should do well. Should. However, Sean Newell and Neto, they are doing some work, getting on base, doing some stuff there. Taylor Ward still only wants to hit every blue moon, but when he does hit it, it's a home run, so that's pretty good for me when I have him on my teams. Another guy I think you should add, Eric Fedde. He has a great matchup with the White Sox this week. I think it's tomorrow or Sunday, so definitely look him up. Another pitcher, Al Leiter Jr., has a great 2-start matchup with the Royals and the Pirates. If he can keep the ball in the yard, he should get some run support because Adolis Garcia's found his life. Corey Seager might do something, and then Josh Smith cannot be kept off the base pass. So please, for the love of God, because I have picked him up, please get wins. Speaking of Josh Smith, I definitely think you have to go get him. You can't ignore him more. He's got first, second, third, short, and outfield eligibility. Plays everywhere but catcher. You cannot ignore that anymore. Pick him up. He's going to find a way in the lineup. Can't keep him off the base paths. I would dare to say he's more of a Swiss Army knife than Ben Zobrist, than Rengifo, than Caballero. Caballero doesn't play first. He plays everything else, but not first. Josh Smith plays first. Thank you. Quick and dirty of the people I think you should add that are going to help you this week and hopefully weeks into the future. But that's going to do it for the recaps. As always, this is JK here, and thank you for sharing part of your day with me.